What?
You know how illegal this is, right?
Listen, I have been in hiding for 30 years, then lived in an office, then in the woods, and then another office. I think it's finally time I get a nice place to stay, don't you think?
And how do you expect me to cover this up?
Quietly and discreetly.
These hardworking people don't loathe the police, quite the opposite. They understand what so many seem to have forgotten or never understood. Being hurt by violent street crime. To put it plainly, police go where the crime is.
You Jack Swanson?
Yes? Mind if I come in?
My dad's not here right now.
This is a nice place you got here, Jack.
Excuse me?
Officer. It's excuse me, officer.
Officer who?
Never you mind.
You know, I have the right to know who I'm talking to.
And I have the right to conduct my investigation, Swanson. So why don't you go take a seat while I ask you a few questions? Get!
Should I call my dad?
You should do whatever the hell I say. I'm your dad now.
So what is this all about?
This entire apartment is under investigation, needs to be evacuated immediately.
Investigation? I don't know what you're talking about.
Lying to a cop is a terrorist act, son.
What?
Or a violation of the Geneva Convention. You know what I'm talking about.
Is your badge plastic?
No.
Look, your hair, your shoes, that's not uniform at all. Look, I'm back to blue all the way, but you're not a real cop.
What's that behind you? I'm gonna live in your house!
Get out of here. I know my rights. I know my rights.
Justified. Hello there. Huh. Well, he certainly wasn't kidding about backing the thin blue line. This could be interesting. All right, boys, bring it in. Let's see what this PragerU has to offer.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same.
Reagan had it right, and we're getting it wrong.
Oh shit, boys, this is the generation when freedom ends? Is that like the boomer political version of get off my lawn?
Our kids aren't learning that America is a land of opportunity, a defender of freedom around the world.
Well, that's awkward.
They're learning that America is a land of inequality and racism, an imperialist power.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq.
Oh, that's even more awkward.
Is there a way to undo this damage? There is. It's called PragerU, a totally new concept in education.
Holy shit, PragerU is gonna single-handedly destroy progressivism in our generation?
It's simple, and it works.
I'm gonna need some statistics there, Dennis. You're making some pretty big claims.
The best thinkers presenting their best ideas in 5 focused, entertaining minutes. Cutting-edge media and marketing on our side for a change.
Okay, shitty blue and orange animation is not cutting edge.
PragerU explains the values that have made America the greatest force for good the world has ever known.
The world has ever seen? Yeah, suck my circumcised American dick, Dalai Lama. You're a fucking nobody.
To win the war of ideas, all we need is you. Support PragerU today.
Prager University, or PragerU as it's more commonly referred to, is in fact not a university at all. It's just a conservative media conglomerate. However, it does boast a healthy roster of conservative personalities. You've got Candace Owens, Black Twitter's worst nightmare, Ben Shapiro, the personified Yamaka, Will Witt, the wannabe Nick DiPaolo, Heather MacDonald, who doesn't understand how Scottish surnames work, and Dave Rubin, the lame duck. And all of them report to the big man upstairs, Denis Prager. Denis Prager began his rise to prominence writing and reporting on the large amount of Jews who were trying to escape the Soviet Union and the Eastern Bloc. However, as time went on, he began to realize the financial and fanatical support he could get if he opened his own media company. And thus, PragerU was born. And that brings us to our first PragerU ad. What?
Did you get the deed for the apartment?
Kinda.
What do you mean, kinda?
As in, I kinda impersonated a police officer and then shot a kid.
You did what?
It's okay now. I'm focused on PragerU.
How the fuck am I supposed to do anything with that? Are you serious?
Moving on.
Do you want equality between men and women?
No. I mean, yes.
I do, which is why I own a gun.
See, the wage gap isn't bulletproof, ladies. If your boss won't give you a raise, rack that fucking slide.
My Glock 43 is my equalizer. Too NRA for you? Then let's take a step back and think about this.
See, now at this point I would begin mansplaining to her the workings of her argument, but I really don't know where it's going.
I will start with this premise. Men are physically stronger than women. I know, even this is controversial these days, but men have more muscle mass and greater bone density. They run faster and punch harder. It's called biology.
That's bullshit. Bruce Jenner, a woman, won the decathlon in 1976 against all those cisgendered pussies. So what are you gonna do now? Shoot the Kardashians? I'll pay you 60 grand if you're interested.
If a woman is going to protect herself against a man who intends to do her serious harm, she needs to even the odds. And what's the best way for her to do that? Own a gun and know how to use it.
Actually, when it comes to women's safety, pepper spray is far more efficient than a gun. As PragerU pointed out in the beginning of their video, men are stronger, they run faster, and punch harder. Not to mention the 21-foot rule. It's pretty easy to get a gun away from the fairer sex.
Given this, you would think that feminists would be lining up in front of gun shops, spending quality time at the shooting range, and filing for concealed carry permits.
Did you catch that? They put a little pink stripe in the feminist hair, because that's what they all look like. I'll never forget when Margaret Thatcher showed up with blue hair to declare war on the Falklands. Parliament was never the same.
But when was the last time you heard a feminist speak out for women owning guns? You haven't.
Well, actually, gun ownership among females has been steadily rising since 2017, with around 1 in 5 women owning a firearm. And according to CBS and a scholarship study, around 61% of women consider themselves feminists. Basically meaning that feminists would support gun ownership. But what do I know? I only research my points before making a video about them. See, Dennis is really only about the agenda. Clearly must have learned something from CNN.
Because feminists aren't for gun ownership. They're for taking guns away from women.
Ah, yes. We all remember when the famous suffragette Emily Davidson flung herself in front of the King's horse to stand up for gun control.
Every year, progressives push for more and more gun control without ever considering who will pay the price. It won't be the bad guys. They always get the guns they want. It will be the good women who need to equal the odds in a dangerous confrontation with a man. Women owning guns shouldn't be a partisan issue. In fact, it's a women's rights issue.
Actually, it's more of an Americans' rights issue. See, under the Second Amendment, every American is allowed to own a firearm to form a well-regulated militia to protect against tyranny. What people like Katie don't understand is that most of the gun laws she's referring to aren't in the Second Amendment at all. It's a pretty short document. See, most gun laws are local and were written in 1976. See, if gun rights are women's rights, what you should instead be saying is a woman has the right to follow Section 1AB of Law 826, written in 1964. But that's not as catchy, so I get it.
This is Secretary.
Do you have a gun?
No.
Do you want one? Because I've got one.
You are not planting a murder weapon on me.
Fine, be a part of the patriarchy. See if I care. Moving on.
Do you want to celebrate your birthdays alone? Is the idea of having a job you love boring to you?
I love this job. I'm bored.
Then don't watch this video. But if for some crazy reason the idea of having actual friends and jobs that you love and meaningful relationships sounds great to you, you need to master the art of having conversations with real people.
Okay, so this is one of the stranger ones. I'm still having a hard time fully wrapping my head around it. What I hypothesize is that somebody read 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson and then decided to convert that into a Gen Z style friendly video akin to a modern day Smosh video, which is an experience equivalent to getting a lobotomy with no anesthetic.
4 tips is all you need to start having conversations like a pro.
See, this is PragerU's attempt to sort of reach out to the youngins. However, I guess that demographic is younger autistic people who need to learn how to speak to one another. I mean, honestly, it has this strange conservative tint to it. Like, what are we going to have to hear an Asperger's rant about how if everybody, like, trains a little bit more, that abortion would be illegal?
Actions speak louder than words, and body language is no exception. Just look at these precious gems. This person wants to hit you. This guy is hiding something. This person is insecure and timid. And this guy ate too many Fiber One bars.
See, it's funny because it's a poop joke. Now, I don't know what PragerU's writing staff looks like, but I'm beginning to think it's 4 6-year-olds who are forced to write a book report on Ayn Rand.
The more you can learn from others' mistakes, the less mistakes you have to make yourself.
If you're not for me, then you are my enemy! Only a Sith would deal in absolutes.
And who knows, maybe you won't have to get 3rd-degree burns from the pit of lava you fell into when your legs got cut off in a lightsaber battle because you were trying to use the dark side to save your wife from certain death.
What the fuck am I witnessing? It's like PragerU discovered 2011 YouTube and decided to use that as a basis for their recruitment of the youth. See, now I'm going to show you what PragerU describes as normal human behavior.
Really helps to have good questions ready to ask. Questions like, what are you interested in?
What are you interested in?
Yes, that question is not stereotypical or dull in any way.
Or what do you do in your free time?
So what do you do in your free time?
Or,
are you lactose intolerant?
Okay, maybe not that.
Hilarious!
But don't stop there. There are many more friends to be made, stories to be heard, and lessons to be learned. So go out there and find the golden nuggets. There's only one left.
Now, if you found that video entertaining or helpful in any way, then I feel very, very bad for you. And, you know, that was trash. It was trash. It was fucking trash.
Have you turned over to the conservative side yet?
No, I haven't switched to any side. Both political parties fall victim to media companies using their agenda for money, whether it's the MyPillow guy or all of MSNBC. Putting your entire personal life behind a political party is moronic, frankly.
Son, I'm home.
Ah, shit. Now I gotta kill another person.